Zagara turns 7 today. Happy birthday from your mom, Janex Dembe. Yes, Zagara. But I don't know whether it was Zagara or Zahara. Whatever it is, your mom, Janex Dembe. Akwakaliza masali wa malunji. Also, Shadia Umar atunda kawarake variant. Your mama loves you so much and sends you greetings. I also have birthday greetings going out to Sanza. My dear, special greetings coming in from Team Farida Nakaswe Official. Bakwagalanya, Bakwagalisa Bironji. Also, my darling Samali Baleke, happy birthday, my dear. I don't know how old you are, but whatever it is, yeah, we are still rocking this world. Greetings coming in from your children, Karim, Aliyah, Asmat, Imran, and Adnan, and from the entire Baleke family, including my own Michael Baleke. Also, greetings coming in from your best friend, Susan Chiwanda, and from all workmates at Vine Computers, Kampala Road. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to the show. Guess who I have? The king of Luga Flow, whatever that means. GNL Zamba is in the house. Farida is my name. Nasi Samtia.
Akawungeezi kirikiri mabero kanyonyi kange joli che.
Oh, the sky is lit.
Yeah, that's how Fridays are. Yes, Mukulu Ernst and Simbi over GNL Zamba is in the house. Koke kam kuimba we opya yakayimba ne mukyala we angambi amanyage mayitirivu. Miriam Nsimbi na Mirembe appeal namaz.
Na Mirembe namaz.
Gona wagamu.
Gona amanyagage, yes.
Wow, you're looking lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Is it the new style?
Yeah, I just felt creative nengamba ebikwaso abantu basinga batintinga enviri zaabwe tezagisagala zitintinga. So what else could be colorful and what else represents the punk Afro hip hop realm jengendamu nengamba ebikwaso bisobola okukola design.
Tebikufumita. Webaka nabyo bwotyo babuli
kumaja. Ete nebase nabyera still. No, sibijamu. Pozi ngubonyita ku security ya airport wabijamu.
Oli ku mulimu tabiwere ebyo 10.
Ate nkyayongerako njagala zonna enviri zibeere nga ziri silver on one side.
Okay, the other side taina.
Einako naye just a few on this side.
Okay. Tusanyisa okulaba.
Omanyi
tuwafukira ddala mu America. You look like
them. Mwana mu Uganda.
Nyonyo. Omusayi gwafe gwawano no doubt. Naye
kitegeera.
Omanyi unokweruka wa Yerusi.
Luga Flow International. Bulijjo ndi mweru just kubanga tibobere Kampala. Esse batewera. Ne esika stewera nobera nga oli in a place nga basically utwera mu hustle omusana guba gukuba buli saawa you're hustling. But ever since I was a child I've always looked like this.
Okay.
Wembera nga ndi time yange
I have to go back and check your
my pictures. Yes.
Nkakase. But you're looking good.
Thank you.
Is she around, Miriam?
Yeah, base.
Omulezi talabye show.
Simanyi kacheka azukuse najiraba naye usually ye abajja gisanga ku internet.
Naye
atira kuzukuka like at 11 kati naku zinagenda yigo Luganda. Agamba gulawo geti.
Wasizotya sebo. Ngafukamidde.
Tafukamira.
Wamugana.
Asimu kumugana ne kubo tradition yabwe wabwe tebafukamira.
Ate iyo mufukamira.
Yeah, so kati olaba interracial relationships izineno buli omote ko kwa respect culture ya muno kati waliwo ebintu ebimbi mugamba nti waffe bino tutubikola na biwa respect naye nagamba nti waffe bwe tutukola buli Friday ebituwa kubeera Hanukkah.
What is that?
Hanukkah is like Jewish celebration je bakola bugundi. Shabbat actually, not Hanukkah. Shabbat buli bakola every Friday bwe ba celebrating a week ne bawa katonda ekitiibwa. She's Jewish, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you've been around for 10 years?
11. But I think the number 11 right now, enaku zino number 11 njagala nnyo. And I think it represents, kalipoba soma numerology. Numerology 11 is an angel number. It represents change. Etekawo nti bobo genda foka Farida 2.0. That's the exact moment. Yes, like if you want to advance, it signifies change.
Numerology.
Kati olaba olaba ensi eno gye tulimu Farida, Abafirika baali bagisoma dda ne bagivuunuka. Kati abasajja aba Egypt, aba Greek bavanga eyo ewaabwe ne bajjawo nino mu Africa okusoma mathematics. So bino kyenkugamba nti waliwo ennamba ng'ennamba 3, namba 6 n'ennamba 9. Nti zonna ennamba zo ziri governed by the number 9, and you have a perfect number and then you have other numbers that are subject to that number.
It's called numerology.
Bingi, yes.
GNL, honest.
Yes.
Nsimbi, atali GNL, afubutuka wanga akaana akato.
Ng'akaana akato nfubutuka kawempe. Waliwo ebifo bisatu bye ngamba nti no byebifo ebyankuza. Kawempe, nkokonjeru mukono, ndowooza n'entinda. Byebifo ebisatu bye ngamba nti no byankuza.
Wakulira maka mangi?
Si maka mangi, naye kugamba nti stages z'obulamu bwange zembala nti wano we wali ewa jjajja mukono, nti wano we Kawempe, ewaffe mu ghetto gye nakulira.
Ewa mama ne taata.
Ewa mama ne taata. Then nondoka ngamba nti Entinda was place gye na finding out career yange n'okwezuula ng'omuntu. Yeah.
So wakulira ke ewa jjajja? Oba just wawumulirangayo?
Nawumulirangayo nnyo, naye jjajja wange yali most of ebintu byennyumya, stories zennyumya n'oluganda lwennyumya luva ku jjajja wange kubanga yalinga amanyi nnyo okunyumya stories. Yeah.
Okay. So mwabeeranga awo mu bugero bwaffe buli obwedda?
Ng'ateekawo omuliro awo, tewali TV, tewali zino bya iPhone nga tebinaba kujja, so nga mutuulaawo ne jjajja n'abanyumiza engero, n'abanyumiza nti bajjajja bammwe olaba ezo emmunyeenye ziri mu bbanga ziteeringa exactly where we are on earth, nti essiga erifumba emmere is the same shape gye baazimbisaako pyramid. Basically things that most Ugandan parents no longer tell their children but are important.
Oh, okay. Muli baana bameka?
Ewaka, kati mu maama wange tuli abaana 4 and I'm the only boy.
Wow.
Ninayo ne muganda wange omulala bamuyita James Semakula too.
Okay. Mama wo ne taata wo gye bali balamu?
Yeah, balamu nnyo. Mwamirongo John Semakula nkutumidde gyonna gy'oli. Longo John Semakula Lupia Zita. So nze bampita Ernest Nsimbi Tulye Lupia Zita.
Wow.
Which say that those are my great grandfather's names.
Lupia is a saint.
It's a saint. Kati kwegambe erinnya lyange bajjajja bange baali baswaga bonna. Sikwegamba siswaga sezaali ereetedde. Kwegamba liva mu musaayi nti jjajja wange bali muyita Nsimbi. Nsimbi represents akukakawa shell ate wano mu Buganda the saint. The former exchange ya songa.
Nsimbi ziwome ate Lupia Zita.
Agamba Nsimbi Tulye Lupia Zita. It's like the whole name is a sentence. Yeah.
Nga gemanya gaabwe ddala obagala?
Gemanya gaabwe ddala. No, seriously, like my name is Nsimbi, birth certificate and what Nsimbi. Yeah.
Nsimbi ndooza gye liri balituuma.
Nnyo linnya lya lugero.
Naye nga tolimalayo mu Nsimbi Tulye.
Nsimbi Tulye, kati Tulye was also a grandparent of mine. So Nsimbi Tulye gwe banzibulamu amanya gange. Okay.
Ne ba sisters bo nabo bayimba?
No.
Swag teyabakwata?
Nedda, ba sisters bange bali so mu family yaffe ndowooza nze nzekka ali just so out of the box. All the other people are like so cookie cutter nti ba professional, bagenda mu church ne basaba ne bakugamba nze nsabira mu mutima
Katonda omwetegerera.
Nze Katonda tukiringa fembi ne tunyumya emboozi yaffe nze ne Katonda Katonda yampa lugafulo. So stories zonna zenyumya ziva mu ggulu ate tulina belief nti Katonda ali mu ffe. So the more you reach deep into yourself and get to understand yourself more, you're getting to understand who the creator is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wasomeranga wa?
Nasomera Chira College Butiki for my O level, then nensomera Makerere. Naye makati awo between Chira College Butiki ne Makerere. So primary.
Makerere what college?
No, Makerere. So I did Makerere University. But between Chira College Butiki and Makerere University, I did Ntinda View College. I did Makerere High. I did a little bit of Kabojanga bangoba bugobi kwegamba.
Olugafula atandise kukwata.
Kati nga si lugafulo naye kati nga muzeeyi wange yanteekamu ekintu nti you should stand up for yourself. Diwe bagenda okupanishinga omusomesa lwaki abakupanishinga nga bino bye bayingiranga abasomesa n'agamba bonna mubadde muwoggana babaale wansi babakube. Kansi ngamba kati nze abadde tawoggana lwaki
naye nga wali towoggana?
Nalinga musirise nnyo. In most of the times actually nze ndi musajja musirise nnyo. Yeah.
Only when you get the microphone.
I
to get to serious
yes,
business.
when I get the microphone, I transform to something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now watotegedde.
Nange seetegeera ngamba ono guy nga wakabi.
Nga zijja zonna.
Yes.
Nga zikubuutikira. Ate
Yes.
primary yo wagisomera.
So primary school waliwo akasomero ekawempe bali bakayita Ginger Kalori Girls School. Kati mwaka akasomero, I remember nali mwana muto. I think Golola Moses yali mu P7 ngaffe tuli around P1. So I remember the very first day at school. I remember a guy. Golola Moses used to be like very light skinned nga muto.
Yaddugala kyolowooza.
Simanyi.
Wayesiiga butto.
Yes, but my earliest memory
Oba
of
engumi ze
him.
bamukuba.
Simanyi oba
Engumi ze
ngumi
z'okukuba.
oba kasana oba kiki. But to me, Golola Moses is like the Ugandan superhero. I celebrate him.
And he's self-made.
Self-made. Ate mti weka wempe so neyongeramu n'okumwagala. But I remember a memory that was imprinted on my mind the very first time I was at school. Waliwo abaana nga bagoba omuvubuka nga abeetolooza kumbe nga yali afunye ffene. So I think the fene wasn't his. Bali bagula n'amunyakula.
Ddala Golola yabba ffene.
Next government they yabba. But for him maybe he was just being playful. So kati abaana bali bamugoba bali kumpi kumukwata. Ne bagamba tuwe fene waffe. Then he just spat on it n'amugamba kale kati wondo bomwagala kwata. Like that in my mind stayed. I don't even know if he remembers that. Naye nze ng'omwana omuto. I remember that. But then since yalinga muvubuka nga waddalu naye nga affenna tumwagala ku ssomero. So
yali alwana.
Not really. But he was much more of musajja kubasama kuwanika kugulu like since I think childhood.
Yali munakatemba.
I think so.
Muntu acrobatics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Makere no so much.
So Makere nali ku S6 nakola PM art. So Makere nesoma environmental management.
Ali mugezi nnyo bw'otyo.
Nali kisajja kigezi. Ndi kisajja kigezigezi mu kondooza. PM art. So I did environmental management. And I loved the subject. I loved it so much. One of the things being passionate about your environment. In a company yange nagineminga after an animal that I like, which is a baboon. And I believe that in seteko kubera ecosystem nga fena tuyambagana nga tukolagana. So bwembanga siri mu music, I think I would also like to transform my music to do a little bit of environmental education, sensitization, conservation moving tungebyo.
Why the baboon?
I love baboons.
Bikulabikira bulungi.
Yeah, for some reason nengeri jepya isa. Naye ndowooza from childhood waliwo ka cartoon kali Lion King the film. So Lion King I don't know how many times. Every time that movie comes on, I relate to it. I relate to the story. Ne mulimu ka baboon mu gonde eyo mu firimu eyo. Katika waliwo kabaka bali bamuyita Simba. Katata we yafa. Abateesi ne bamugoba ezaali mpologoma
abateesi
bahater ne bamugoba ku ntebe amugamba toddangana wano eno mu kingdom kati naddukeyo nabeera ne bufriends be Butimona and Pumba naye aba akyali eyo kababooni ne kajja ne kamukimu ne kamugamba kyali wange okimanyi nti nno oli kabaka lwaki obeera sides eno nga waliwo kingdom gy'osobola okusavinga. So
your love stems from
there because to me it shows me even my role right now in the hip-hop industry in Uganda, I just want to show other people that they can be kings too. I don't only want to be a king by myself, but all of us can be kings. Nze philosophy yange. So enkobe eyo ye reminding abavubuka tinawo osobola okubeera kabaka, tinawo oli kabaka, waliwo kingdom yo. Like encouragement. Kyeteka mu mutima, you will achieve what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wagisomako course n'ogimala?
Yeah, nengisoma and I got a first-class degree, by the way.
You're kidding me.
Yes. And
what
surprised, yeah, you also nedda nizange nali nazijjayo actually nali nazijjayo
first class.
Yes, so I remember nilinganga ku university nga abaana babeera bagenda kukuba gundi discussion ezikinga tebagala mbeere mu discussion groups zaabwe kubanga all the time nabeeranga ku basketball court bagenda mu lectures ndi ku basketball court. So nga bo bakitwalanga is a sign of unseriousness. Naye nga nze ng'omuntu bwembeera nga neemanyi.
You prefer memory to ink?
No, I prefer understanding a subject than okugenda okukopa bukopi notes. Because bw'obanga okopye bukopi notes toyiga.
Kati ani yakuteekangamu that understanding bali abalala gye bataafa?
I don't know. Kati, I think from the very, very beginning omuntu eyasooka okumpa ekitabo in my life yali jjajja wange. Still a very strong woman who I owe so many things. Njagamba n'omwana amanyi okusoma Oluganda mzee n'agamba tanaba kuyiga kusoma Luganda ogamba okay
wali omanyi Luzungu
nga no kale tuli awo just bine ebyokusoma just nti mulimu A B C D but she took me back to the basics eza kisumuluzo akatabo ka kisumuluzo nalitanga bu newspapers obwa musizo yalinga ngapo yali musizo or something like that ngagamba kati mubinsomere muko mumbulire ekirimu. So my dad also began doing the same thing, my mom began doing the same thing. So love ye bitabo ne stories ezaffe mu Buganda ebitabo byaba Professor Nsimbi, Michael Nsimbi ewaffe byalingawo. So you get to learn ennono za Buganda, you get to learn like you're very rooted in your culture, so it's very hard to sway omuntu nganzo kunzija ku love ya culture yange. Because from the very beginning it was inculcated in Chipachintekam. So omuntu kasita yampa ekitabo ebitabo omwana yenali ewakala ba program eno Gandhi ne Farida. The best thing you can ever do for yourself is to learn how to read. Because when you learn how to read obwongo bwo expanding ira ddala kwegamba obango badde mu ghetto mu karoom katono bwekati ensi yegaziira ddala. Yes.
Through a book.
Nejo badde totuuse bakugamba ebiriyo ebintu bwe babikola n'ensi bwetambula. So nze already nali manyi nti okay musomesa yatuwadde homework, it's not homework like coursework oba biki nga manyi engeri format gye baagala mu coursework wabwe answers ozibawe n'ebitabo ebyokusoma mu library byali gyebiri. Kati ate ekyokudda mu kibiina musome notes already ziri mu bitabo. It doesn't make sense. So I spent my time on a basketball court.
Wow. Awo matunda bakutandika kuyimba?
Kata university nali ntandikiriza. Most people bagamba nze natandika kuyimba nga ndi mwana muto, satandika kuyimba nga ndi mwana muto mu church. So to me that's not my story. Nze story yange yali I'm a storyteller first, so njagala nnyo stories abantu abanyumiza. And I think most of the times I'm quiet because I love listening to other people speak. So mu stories omwo mwenafunanga nti nokutandika okwagala hip hop that's because nawulewuliranga hip hop nga ina stories nyingi nnyo nti Celine Dion ayimba just kalayini kamo ne rapper akuwa ebigambo nga 100 to just describe one thing. So the feelings abeera as describing the environment as describing.
So wasomanga n'obutabo about music?
Oh yes, most definitely. Nze nali fan wa music ne fan waba musicians abalala before I became a musician. I became a musician by accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Olwo ba musicians abalala bewagobereranga bewafuba okumanya ebibakwatako.
Yes.
Balingani as a child?
As a child, I was attracted to Eli Wamala as the legend. The legend Eli Wamala. My dad used to love Eli Wamala a lot. Yamuzanyanga nnyo mu motoka. Philip Bongole Lutaya. Kati when nakula, I discovered an artist called Nas. NAS. He's amazing. Rapper. So yeah, ne Wu-Tang Clan. So Wu-Tang Clan bantu basatu mu mukaaga bali mu group emu bonna bagezi nti the way they describe and use the English language, even Shakespeare would feel jealous. So Jay-Z and Ice Cube.
Okay. And what answer about Eli Wamala n'engamba kunyimba za Eli Wamala wajjamu hip hop. Okay, now I understand. Yes, tukyagenda maaso we have GNL Zamba oba Nsimbi tutegeera who he is and why he calls himself the hip hop king. To come out of our vehicle social media platforms affair is bulijjo Facebook and YouTube. Abali ku NTV, yeah, something is happening there, so we're sticking to Spark TV. GNL Zamba, go to the number studio. What does GNL mean? Zamba.
GNL, chiva mo philosophy, mayindi musajja nnyo wa philosophy. Ochogera mu bugubotero. Philosophy. I love philosophy a lot.
Abogeze ebirimi.
Kale si katika eyo kanveyo. Eyo kanveyo. Njagala nnyo philosophy, and my personal philosophy is that at the greatness, at the highest level of self-expression, often a greatness of no limit. So greatness of no limit is GNL. Self-expression, the more you express yourself, you achieve your greatness of no limit.
Of no limit.
Yes.
Then Zamba?
Zamba is my name. Zamba means rainmaker. from this one of the oldest Bantu. Anti Nsimbi manya mangi tomanyi kyafuna abasajja abaganda tubeera n'amanya mangi. Nsimbi tuli Rupia Zita Serunjoji Kanyonyonto tuli Amagumba Zamba gonna gange kati walimba ntemyeko obutemi kanjogako ne first of his name bwembeera mu Game of Thrones.
Zamba. Ogabe Zamba is what?
Zamba means rainmaker. It's one of the oldest Bantu names that olisanga buli wamu from Congo to Uganda, South Africa. Zamba is everywhere. Nechipa kitegeeza a place that provides. It's a forest. It's a rainmaker.
So at what stage of your life or your career did you come up with this GNL thing?
With this GNL thing, ndoza yali around S6 there nga ntandise okuwagala nnyo Pan-Africanism n'okwagala abantu baffe abaddugavu and understanding that okutegeera who we are as Africans in the world kyekijja okutwala development abantu fengaffe okudeveloping okugenda mu maaso n'okwagala eggwanga lyaffe.
Wali awo tonatandika kuyimba?
Nali sinatandika kuyimba, like everything. I was reading Sankara, I was reading Che Guevara, Nsoma Lumumba, I was watching speeches, and I was getting to get the historical context of the place where we are. I love the Egyptian civilization a lot. Nola bantina basajja baddugavu story yaffe tetandikira kubeera slaves, story yaffe teriku. The Ugandan story doesn't begin with colonization, but we had kings here, and we have queens here, and everything here. Basically, this is the credo. Obulamu bwonna bwe bwatandikira wano mu East Africa.
So, Zamba, GNL Zamba is who you are.
Yes.
Especially influenced by the music that you started.
No, it wasn't influenced by the music. But just to be honest, amanya gange gonna amafirika when nali nga ntandika butandisa okuyimba nga okwezuula nali siga nkozesa. I was using a very different name like Zeus Theodore.
Wanji?
Zeus omumanyi kati Zeus ye katonda waba Greek.
Zeus Theodore.
That was my first rap
wali
name.
osubira nti tugenda dyogera.
Kati nali manyi temubimanyi
katantogera kuba star nga tangogamba
Zeus Theodore like where does that even come from?
Omutuju.
Zamba. You get me? Like a name like Zamba is really, really strong. Kati awolabira nti bwe natandika okuba Oluganda, I decided nti kati instead of I discovered nti mu hip hop ekiganye hip hop okuvaayo nti bwe tuyimbira bikwano gyaffe mu high school babeera bategeera buli kye twogera bwe tukuba Oluzungu. Bayi ne ngamba the strength is in recognizing what Jehova and who you are as a person. Nenzirayo ewajjajja ku kyoto. So my very first album tried to gita Koi Koi, Readers
Walaba
of Life.
Oluzungu terutambula.
No, nga ndina mikwano gyange Gundi, but Lyrical G, everybody, and they would perform performing it like in small spaces. Tuli ku DV8, tuli ku Sabrina's or something, Yentinda, nenga tu performing mu venue butono. And then nga bagayi b'ekidandala bakuba ebidandali bakuba shows nene. So I was like, where's the disconnect? Nenzula kizibu wechiri, and I was like, all we have to do is just rap in Luganda. So I began rapping in Luganda and telling stories nge bazibulire ebweru naye nga ezaffe ziva waneno ku kyoto. And through that I even discovered that hip hop teyatandikira bweru. Hip hop yatandikira waneno ku kyoto w'abajjajja kubanga bajjajja bali bakotya nga batontoma. Nakitegeera.
Naye nga temuli kidongo.
No.
Nga temuli kidongo bayogera bwogezi.
But that's part of poetry. Kati waliwo poem gye nakafulumya empya bagayi ba Democratic Party bwe batusabira bayinza ogikozesa somewhere. Abamu US. Waliwo poem gye nafulumiza which is about police brutality and killing black people in the US. And it's a long poem of about 11 minutes. You don't need a beat because the story itself tells the story.
Is it already on the internet?
Yeah, it's called, it's channel yange bagita GNL Zamba TV. Poem bagita Rhapsody for Freedom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rhapsody for Freedom.
So bajjajja baffe bo batontomanga ne balanya. So when I say Mr. Content chapa ku buli continent oba Baboon Forest Entertainment nsimbi tuliye Lupia Zita ekintu kigwera mu buwumbi ku bank statement pompa one moment kulaga nti just great but that you and I can be magnificent. Okwo kwekulanya kati nze nanyiza mu hip hop ne kati jjajja yandigambye yenze Lupia Zita eyazaalibwa egundi mutabani wa gundi eyatengo eyakola biki like all of that. So I'm doing it in a modern way.
Bino byetulanye wasa abasajja.
Kyekyo kyenyina abasajja tetumidde.
Wow.
Baffe.
Weddira ki?
Neddira Lugave ndi musajja wa Lugave. Basajja ba Lugave be banyirira.
n'abalala kye bajja okugamba
kyeka kye bajja okugamba era nja basanga eyo mu street nabadde n'abaana b'ensambi bannange nabaddeawo nga nina obuntu bwange obwewaka bwengula nengwa mu baana nga baagala nnyo GNL nga baagala nnyo Luga Flow so bonna abatumidde abaana b'ensambya baŋŋambye awo ku lukoba ababajja aba furniture yes baŋŋambye wonna matwale go jjajja so we had a very good time then stopping and baŋŋamba mbakubiremu ka story ya Luka so we had a good time nembawaamu and ebangamba album empya tugirinza so album empya yafulumye yesterday and I hope everybody gets a copy yesterday. Yeah. All
right, tujja gituukako nayo.
Yes.
So about starting out. Omala okusoma, obeera inspired okusoma about
obutabo. Yes.
Ne bana abayimbi
abeebweru. Yeah.
You get inspired now and ogamba I think I can do what they do. Just like that.
Kati okuyimba kwange. Yes, kati okuyimba kwange. Kati let's say S6 awo. Kati wajjawo guy nga tulina talent show ku ssomero kwe kuyimba kwange okutandikira ddala like my very first time on stage. Kati guy yajja ng'ayimba luyimba lwali lwa Nas lwali baluyita Hate Me Now kati nga nfaani nnyo wa Nas nga Nas ya describing a New York ng'oyinza okulowooza nange embeera New York you get me like we began dressing like New York people we began talking like New York people so nga nese tuli bayimbi nga waliwo abayimbi abali ku ssomero and this guy
bani abaliko mu biseera ebyo abawana
I don't know. Mega D was big. General Mega D mutumbidde nnyo is a doctor now naye abeereyo waffe California. Yali muyimbi. Chrono was also a very good musician. Moze Radio. Chira College Boutique as well.
Had he broken through?
No, he hadn't. Yali achali. Everybody was like, fena twalinga bumesenga butuli butono nnyo.
Bobby Wine.
Yes, Bobby Wine, Chameleon, bali already bawe bali. Nenga tutera balaba at a distance katwala nga bakulu baffe nga they are like up to now nze batwala nga bakulu bange still we are contemporaries nti fena tulina amanya tulina territories zetufuga nti buli omu alina kingdom ye nera still I have a lot of respect for them.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to have respect.
Most definitely, especially in our industry, we all have to have respect for each other. And they were upcoming artists. I give them the same respect. No muyimbi, ayimbi for 20-30 years.
Boyogera boto nenzijukira Gravity we yali wano n'akuzalawa.
He has a choice. That's his own choice.
I think mwenna muli bantu ba hip hop. So tuba tulowooza you're all a good family.
Yeah,
one good family.
Everybody has their opinion, but nkuzayo ku story yange the way that I began singing kati waliwo guy nga mayiminga ali ku stage awo nakola olimba lwa Nas nga n'ebigambo abivuyavuya tulimbalimba mbw ayimba bigambo naye nga abuzaabuza ng'abalwadde bwe batera okubuzaabuzawo kwawo so I was like so frustrated
omuzindalo bagusembeza ddala ategeera byayimba.
Yes naye nga tamumanyi so I was nentandika omuwoganya ne mugamba vaayo naawe limba lwaffe olwonoona when it comes to hip hop nze saagala abantu bonoona kyenjagala so ne muwoganira nagamba kale oba olowooza osobola obiyimba jangu I was like hey, okay so I came over ne bateekako beat I was a little bit nervous but when the beat came on I discovered who I was in that moment neneezuula.
It was your first time on stage.
Yes kubanga ebigambo nali mbimanyi crowd ndabe reacting olimba Hate Me Now lwali lunene nnyo so that's how my career began.
Awavao.
When nava ningamba shikiza bino ebintu bisobola
every stage ng'osaba opportunity.
Yeah naye nalinga netya like in the very beginning nga netya at that moment happened and I still retreated back nenzirayo mu darkness yange yali kati nga njijjukira I remember the feeling of being on stage. I remember the people shouting and my friends telling me mwana guy wamulaze nti no kyakabi nti gwe ebintu obitegeera nnyo like so that kind of feeling nera still nga netya kati nenga ntandikanga okugenda nga ndaba abayimbi ku stages that's still nga netya but then one time nali ne guy bamuyita MMC ne P-Tech tuli wabweru ku show y'abarapa bali awo bakola ebintu byabwe I was just watching so netugenda mu waggulu ku Sabrina Zwaliwo Budala so tugenze waggulu guy nga ina ka jeep ke producer nagamba mwana nakoze beat eno barapa ne batandika okubawo freestyle ne P-Tech nanga freestylinga so out of the blue I began freestyling as well and P-Tech was like wow bulijjo guy simanyi nti n'oli rapper you're up next so he registered my name
there and then.
Yes na registering erinnya lyange kati nengamba obanziruke nga ntya nti agenda kumpita but then he called me on stage and still nga buli lwe performing a crowd liking a change aga. So I didn't know how good I was until other people began believing in me. So I do the same for other people as well. Abaana abato ndaba omuntu nga ina skill nga naye waliwo ekibulamu ne mugamba gwe guy wange oli wakabi, all you have to do is this and this and this, because other people did that for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So confidence and energy to the point that you start writing your own music.
The confidence comes nti bw'obanga kyokola teweerimba mu mutima. Buli muntu kyabira kola babanga teyeerimba mu mutima n'engeri gy'akikolamu nga you're not telling a lie, the lyrics zijja mangu. Bw'obeera ng'ekintu kyokola si kijweteke, lyrics zijja mangu. So bwenatandika okuwandiika Oluganda, kyeka bajjajja baffe bonna abaali beebase ne bagamba, hey, you're doing something real. So whenever nze ne bwembeera nga neebase, waliwo bwembeera nga ngamba sikyayagala kuba rap kasi kansooke mpumulemu emyezi nga 6, but I find that I can't even go to sleep, nze sobola kwebaka. So obwongo butandika okuwandiika rhyme, bw'oba tebuwandiise rhyme oba owandiika story oba firimu, okugamba obwongo buli ssaawa bubeera bukola ki? Buyiiya.
Bibeera muli until you get a pen.
Paka lwogamba kati paka lwenkikwata ku pen. So when trying okwebaka like before midnight nganze sisobola. Kubanga obwongo bubeera bukya creating, so nkwata pen oba simu nentandika okuwandika, and before I know it ngolusi mukyala wange ngamba simu yo light nyingi nnyo ngamba kati genda either mu office or genda mu sitting room or whatever, but I'm always up. So either when I get a pen I realize kati obudde bukedde ate nga abalala bagenda okukola, the whole night I've been creating. So I'm always creating hip hop ne rhymes already ziba zijja.
Wow. So no Luganda jjajja yakusomesa has been very instrumental. Simanyi yonna ndibadde singa sayiga kusoma Luganda. Oba singa one rap is Oluzungu.
Yeah, naira tetwandibadde ffe. Omanyisha nti bwekinyuma, let me tell you the most beautiful thing. The most beautiful thing is that bwetubeera ku festival eyo mugundi mu Los Angeles, ne bajjayo ba rapper ba Nigeria nga boogera their pidgin English, right? Ne bajjayo ba rapper ba Tanzania nga bakuba bongo. Kati gwate n'oyimba Oluzungu, already abayimba Oluzungu we bali.
Proud of Uganda.
Yes, like you're not proud of where you come from. Like look at Sean Paul. Sean Paul, Jamaican. He doesn't have to correct his English for anybody. The biggest songs in the world, zino za Golo, Zisankalewa, teziri mu Luzungu. So they're big international songs in Luganda, in their local languages. And for having a pride mu local languages zaffe n'okuzipreservinga, tuteekwa okuzisomesa abaana abato n'okuzenyumirizaamu. Because najjuza show yange yasooka kubanga nali nkuba Luga flow. And everybody came through because what I was doing was authentic. Nti koi koi, anatayimba koi koi when they were young. Who doesn't relate to that? But jjajjaffe bagamba koi koi from the very beginning. Yes. Nkyogera ne bakimalayo because it's already there, it's us. So when you do who you are in your actual sense, things you get a lot of joy. You be flowing up your car.
All right. So your parents, okutegeera Zamba, you're on the stage. Yimbya.
Yes.
You look like bana bakulanga bali too serious and focused.
I wasn't.
My guest when I last week.
Yeah.
She looked to be abana bakulanga bali focused.
Ngabali serious.
In a different direction.
Yeah.
In a particular direction. Now ndabikira kubanga botu bwali.
No. Nze nali mwana nga ndi stubborn nnyo. Ndi musirise naye ng'eddaluuli yange lyo ndirina.
Mwogera yakagambo kamu buli muntu neewuunya ani oyo.
Yeah, but like kyensinga okwagala mu bulamu bwange is my personal space, basagala giyingirira. So omuntu nga bwe bandika n'embeera ne headphones zange nga buhakawo okumanya mulimu Amanda, I would just keep to myself. Nga basobola okumpita okujja n'embeeramu ate nga ndi bulungi. Nga ndi okay. Kasita mubeera nga mulimu emmere n'omuziki nze mbeera ndi bulungi. Ne bazadde bange babonaabonako like with what I wanted, because bazadde baffe basomesebwa system nga yakufuuka doctor, fuuka teacher. Ate ye system yemu ekyabonyaabonya music industry ya Uganda. Nti bonna ne bw'obeera nga olina company nti buli omuntu osobola omusasula obukadde 2 buli mwezi. Nga lemise MTN oba Airtel egenda muwa $5,000. Family yonna emugamba $5,000 aleke ebbiri eziva mu music eziriko ne commission kubanga eri company nene ate bali mu masimu. But gye tuva kati California oba mu music industry egeri gye tulaba potential yaayo, it's $1 billion industry. badmiring abayimbi abanene abazze ku stage zaawo neeno, and then they forget that abatabani baabwe basobola okufuuka kyekimu. So abazadde abali eyo, this is an encouragement. Oba omwana we ayagala kuyimba, there's no way you can stop them from benefiting from this craft. Otherwise, encourage them. Oba omwana oraising nga lawyer nga ayagala omuziki, mu encouraging akole byombi, so that afuuka lawyer wa musician. Mulimu sente nyingi nnyo. Ne kati industry yaffe terina ba professionals, because ba professionals bali mu company eyo, they are ambulance chasers, yet the music industry okutukolera contracts ezirungamya industry yaffe, okutunda products nga ze twagala okutunda. All of these things that are to deal with our intellectual property, we are clearly lacking the professionals, from accountants to talented managers, okudda ku baloya, kubanga besibidde tukyalina mentality eri etulembazza obwongo. Abazungu gye batulekera nti tuteekwa kubeera ba civil servant si kyokka. No, okukolera omuntu is very fine. Okukolera omuntu, there is nothing wrong with it. Naye nti the only way you can get money, kyoto kyaffectinza music yokka, but even sports. Abaana baba encouragingako katono nga baagala afeiringe afune omulimu omulala. Instead of saying zanyira ddala omupiira. Instead of time ye yagibaze nga ali kapiira afuukire ddala professional. Nti n'okubeera nga ne bw'aba tafuuse professional, agenda kubeera coach ali professional. Agenda kubeera what do they call him? But team doctor ali professional, nutritionist ali professional. In those we need Uganda tukaaba emirimu kwante nga industries ezirina emirimu zetutuuliridde. That's entertainment and sports, the biggest in the world.
The talent.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So parents tebakukotogera.
Kati nabo balina mu kiri kubanga basomesebwa mu masomero ga gundi. You have to be a traditional African dad. Omutabani watekwa kufuuka lawyer, mutabani watekwa kufuuka engineer. So nga bakiremesa kati ne muzeeyi wange waliwo twatuuka ne tukola agreement. Endagaano yennyini kubanga bamugamba omwana wasiba enviiri, omwana wakoze bico, omwana otasoma. Nenga mugamba ne muzeeyi kati kiki ekibira kikutawaanya ng'ate olaba nze asinga mu kibiina. Mwembera nga ze namba 3 kibiina nga bakugamba nkola bino byonna, but the end result is what?
Ayi kalowooza ng'okoppa.
Kati nedda bazadde babeera mwagala just omuntu amoving kubeera kwagala kwa muzadde, kubanga abazadde baffe babeera batwagala nnyo. Babeera tebaagala bad future for you. Okitegeera. Ne babeera ensi gye bapaintinga, ensi awo yavaawo dda. Kakiringa ng'essaawa zino eno okola firimu n'ogifulumiza ku tape, zino tape ennene.
Oba ojja gyerabira.
Ojja gyerabira wekka, oba ejja kubeera vintage, oba ejja genda ogiwanike mu wardrobe yo oba mu kabada awakwatira enfuufu. Nze naliwo, olaba tape eno nagikola. Ennaku zino ebintu biri digital. Yes. Kati ennaku zino bagamba abaana, va ku ssimu, omwana buli ssaawa abeera ku ssimu, ensi ye eri mu ssimu, essaawa zino ensi ye eri mu ssimu. That's the world is living in. Yes.
Okay, though it also has its own effects.
It does, yeah.
Okay, so you went against your parents.
Yes.
I'm going to develop this.
I went against my parents, I went against my whole clan. I went against...
ne clan yonna yabi.
Twatuulanga ssebo ne bagamba omwana bamuwadde omulimu n'agugaana, mbu agenda kuyiba bino ebintu eby'okubeera ku stage nga balina ebiviiriviiri ebiri awo baleekaana kwegamba...
Meeting yennyini.
Yeah, we used to sit in meetings with I have like very responsible uncles, very responsible aunties, very nice parents. Si mu kingdom naye mu ngeri yaabwe kejindi. Like I have aunties who represent areas. I have uncles who... My uncle was the head of the International Labour Organization, Eastern Central Africa. So a very responsible gentleman. He would pull me to the side nangamba. Ne mutabani, why don't we do ABC and D? And you can... Oli musajja mugezi, you can... So logena nosomere ebweru, like... But that wasn't my interest.
Olobakuwadde omulimu gwagana.
Yeah, they gave me a job yali meant kubeera deputy environmental officer.
Owa.
Mubende ne bagamba sigenda genda mu kifo ng'ensiri zirina n'amannyo. Anko wange akanzijukiza nnyo. Bontwale mu kifo ng'ensiri ezo zirina n'amannyo nze ndeka ngenda kubeera mu entertainment.
Ziyoka zirumenze.
Yeah, but I was mistaken. This no insult to Mubende naye abavubuka tubeera ne kye twagala.
N'ogusuulawo. Wali kugenda kuwa sente meka?
I don't know if it was, I think it was close to mitwalo nga jao jali nga 5 7 nenga kuliko bwa allowance bu transport ate nga kifo abantu nga ba graduating na berawo emyaka ngena talina mulimu ne kati gwe bakuwadde omulimu ate ogugobye. So abazadde kyabanyiga nnyo.
Mu meeting byonna nga babyogeddeko gwe ne bagamba kati situka naawe otubulire.
Kati ne njoka nnyimuka ne mbagamba twannange waliwo akatabo bakayita Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Otandise obbaze mu butabo.
Kati netandika obbasomesa kubanga kati omuvubuka otandise okukula okusomesa ki bazadde bo n'obagamba kati muzeeyi tukuze tuli baavu. Oyagala ne mutabani wange abeere mwavu nti ate tutya nti if the cycle of poverty repeats itself bw'obeera ng'oli mwavu n'osomesa mutabani wo abeere ng'agenda kukolera muntu mulala oba okubeera nga breaking mold eyo kuva from the traditional obwavu bujja continuinga mu kika kyammwe nekirungi nti nonsomesezza ntrustinga nganze owninga destiny yange
kati taata gwa omuyimbi gwogenda tujja mu bwavu
nabagamba taata nze ngenda obujja mu bwavu era ne clan yange yonna nze ngenda ogijja kati balina ku ssente zaabwe ekyali struggle tuli mu struggle It's struggle, but it's an African thing. To me, I believe most of my approaches ziri z'abantu bangi. Nti bw'obeera if you want to go far, you need to go with people. You paint a vision, n'ogenda n'abantu bangi. But if you want to go fast, go alone. For me, the approaches zange ziri mu 10-15 years. In 10-15 years, I'm so sure my child agenda kubeera one of the richest people in the world. I know that. But plus kitata utafuuse one of the richest people in the world. Mutabani wange ajja kubeera, or my daughter will be. I'm so confident about that because the upbringing jengendo muwa ne things that I'm going to set for her. Ne katonda bwamukwatirako tujja kutuuka.
So,
yeah, sorry.
Meeting wojivaamu temukanyiza?
Kati sokola be meeting.
Zamba is going for
Nemba wa example nti degree ya twakola agreement nagambe twakola agreement nemba gamba degree ya ngenda gikola njibaleetere era nengenda nenjikola Makerere nenjibaleetera lwamala kuba wa degree ya release my first album.
What did you want to ngoli ku uni?
Yeah, ngandi ku uni ngamanyi kyengenda okukola
nentandika na album.
Yes, nentandika company yange wagita Baboon Forest ku university because I knew what the moves that Jay-Z made when he was my age. I knew the moves that Nas had made when he was my age. I knew Russell Simmons, owner wa Def Jam, yatandikira Def Jam ngali ku university. Nango kutandika Baboon Forest njagitandikira ku university. Steve Jobs yatandika ali mu garage ye.
Bill Gates bali bakusensera mu.
Yes, but to every child out here alaba TV eno. Togendera just because babadde babikola bwe batyo nawe nti oteko bikola bwotyo. It's a hard road. I'm not telling you that it's going to be easy. Nti buli kyona akola kijja kuvayo, but the road of an entrepreneur, the road of okufuuka okubo lyoyitamu okufuuka artist owa kabi, it's a furnace. Bagamba the best china is the one that goes through the hottest furnace. Nti katuyite toffaali. Etoffaali lisabika osinga okulabika obulungi lyeri lisinga okubeera mu ttanuulu wali awokyeza ddala. Ogenda okuvaayo nga bitono nnyo ebisobola okukola ki okuzigira. Kandagamba bazadde bange nti mungamba kati nti ate maliriza ngende nkole masters ate biki nimagamba kati nina ba professors abatazimbanga nnyo
bakugamba genda some masters
twamala ate nje bawadde tubagamba kati ate waneno banti bakuwadde omulimu ne mbagamba no I'm not going to do that.
Nafunye ddo omulimu ngenda kwekozesa.
I'm going to start my own company.
Kobo tell us about it. Ngoba kunyumiza baboon.
No mbagamba Baboon Forest.
What is that?
Yeah, all of them were laughing, but right now we sit back and reflect on what we are doing and the joy that it brings me, because at the end of the day you want your children to be happy. I always give an example until Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball players in the world, worth $1 billion. Kanye West, worth $1 billion. What's the roadmap for an African child right now to become a billionaire? You need to start by building small things. Notanikanga probably go kola juice wa avocado or so say, I don't know. And the whole world can buy it. You need to start designing your own clothes instead of wearing other people's clothes. We need to start thinking that way because the rest of the world thinks that way.
Okay. So how would you grow this to the point of convincing your clan?
In my parents, they were not convinced. And it was Nesoka Nevanawa. I didn't talk to my parents for I think about 2 years.
I
see what abagagazi nva mu ghetto. Fe waffe nze nva kawempe mu ghetto. Waffe ku side wansi batirawo embizi ku side next to our tubeera wali batirawo embizzi wano baneiba bayombanga olimba lwange musajja was based on my life around Kawempe. Actually, the whole Koi Koi album is based on my life in the ghettos of Kawempe. When baneiba bekubanga buli kiro eri waliyo simanya musamize, like it was like drama. It's like drama everywhere, and you're surrounded by that every night. You know, it's not like a glamorous story. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Like when I say I'm a hustler for real because I come from nothing. So bovewaka,
yeah. You went joined your friends.
No, but in Vawaka, I began performing in places. Some places ngatoina transport. Some places ngatoina na wakusula mwagenze wala. Other places ngatoina. Basically, right now, baimbi benakuzi nobody not even lucky. You get me? Like, you're very, very lucky that you have somewhere to start from.
What will never buy yambako?
Bali never buy yambako.
Even the parents, abamba and search chance of thinking in.
Yes.
We need to support them.
Yeah, you need to support. Told parents, you need to support your children. That's how your children are going to break the mold. Generations are for kubere njavo.
All right.
Yes.
Katidemo to mulemu katanonyo tukomao na chunu chaka chisembayo cha GNL Zamba. Yes, we'll be coming out a little earlier to allow other things come up one on studio. Nenga tushali Emboozi omukulu Nsimbi Zamba tulie byona
nebigenderako
nebyona be summarizing into GNL Zamba. Very, very intelligent, inspiring man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tandika hustle. Yes. Album already you know wajiwandika yalika nyimba meka.
Album nalina jiwandika ngirika nyimba 12.
Olungania kuyamba komanyi bowandike kino oli mupya in the field.
Yes.
Ne resources toina.
Yes.
Your family is not willing to cooperate or
yes.
help out, support. Anigwe webuza kolom, this is what I've written, these are the lyrics. How do you see them? So
on that album I had nobody. I always prefer creating alone. Kwange wanebuza kubantu abalala chimpas doubt in what I'm doing. Buli wanebuza kubantu abalala contaminating my purity in a way. I usually just like playing songs for people ngaziwede. Nendo kangamba, listen to this, which one should we put out first? Not Sinti wano tuchusemu sagalira dalanze. Era chovola banti most of my songs and a verse to jisaleko, I'm like, no, you leave it the way it is.
Take it as is.
Take it as it is because it's art at the end of the day. So album yange najiwandika nawandika story ya Luka ne Koi Koi nalinga dina wembeerawo kisasi nalinga mbera mu karoom kamu nenga landlord ompwekweka kubanga sayina nga senteze kati nga nina mu mattress yange ne computer yange. I didn't have a TV. My computer would just play beats and entertain myself kati nga obwongo bwange creating a filmu zange mu bwongo bwange. So nze solo kubeera mu kifo kimu and I can be entertained because in my mind there's a movie playing. Like this, my imagination is always busy. So no imagining scenarios, and if those scenarios are nice and you want to tell that story, you write it on paper. So Koi Koi najiwandika kubanga landlord ngabuli nsoka kulinda landlord nava onendo kamfulu mechiro chitegere nga landlord amanja. So I even made that part of the lyrics. Osina ngamba ngenda kuweldinga kanena akaji nkusibiremu manyi ntimoli nayenga nganye okugula because the money wasn't there. So I was creating that. I was creating Story Aluka. I was creating Koi Koi. I did Soda Jinjale. Like all of these songs creating, and I was just waiting for the opportunity to record them. But then nemikwano nga Lumix nangamba. Yo G, we should work on a song together. Katinga buli sambera sina transport. So one day Lumix twava kushona ngamba man G, twachogenda okwebaka nawe. I have a studio. You should just Bimba lo performance to get into recording. I was like, okay, fine.
What are your performances?
Then performance a Story Aluka. So he was like, man, do you see how the crowd loved the song? So let's go record the song. So ngamba sina beat. So we tried to ukewe nga beats zalina sizagala. So
walina mwene choice.
Yeah, I don't know. Bwemanga nija chenjagala bera nchagala. So nasuka nazanya beat yali ya Akon. I think I tried so hard. And I flowed to the beat. So the very first version of Yafulu Story Aluka was on that, and people loved that. So I was like, oh, okay, so Lulimba Luakabi, and then I did Koi Koi with Sam Lamara.
What way are you in ebintu ebyo? Luga flow? before you?
Before? So Luga Flow nze, the story of Luga Flow, kulaba story ya Luga Flow jatandikira ku muliro lugwaba jjajja baffe. Who invented that? You can't say anybody invented that. But
waliwo yali amanyikidwa wano e Uganda ng'aflowenga mu Uganda.
Nkuleetera nti. So the very, very first person to ever rap and be recorded in Uganda was Philly Bongole. Ng'akubye rap.
Rap ki?
Mwanyinaze nakazaana tuula wano nkubuulirire osaana otyenga omusajjawo ddala omuwenga ekitiibwa kye yakuba obulamu bweggwe n'asalawo obeerewuwe abeerewuwo. The song was called Nakazaana. That was a rap verse right there.
Why he singer?
Oh yeah, who doesn't know? Domanyi Nakazaana?
Mwerabidde.
Oh my God, it's a dope song. Yeah, luyimba lwa kabi. So Philly Bongole recorded that, and I remember the very first person I ever heard nga recordings of hip hop omulala yali group bagita Kaddo, and they were amazing. They were astronomically amazing. So Kaddo, Ibro, Questo, to me bebasoko kola Luga Flow wakabi. And then there were some other groups, Pataka, there was Saba, Alex, Rocky Giant did this thing too. Waliwo Babaluku did this thing too. But all of us in Zimbabwe were contemporary. So the reason why in Zimbabwe, the godfather of Luga Flow. First of all, some titles are meant to be taken by yourself because nobody will give them to you. And then the other ones are abantu bajikuwa kubanga wala about deserving. So for me, people give it to me because I think it's well deserved. The way that I format my rhymes, abasinga ekigambo nga to make similes in language, but to semantics mo rhyme. Balinga tebakikozesa as much as I did it. Nga. Ekigambo nga. Like I give you an example and then I give you okugezanga kati abala bakubanga bukubi nja kukuba oluyi owanda amalusu ate nkukwe ne bbula endala like that was their kind of format. It's gangster rap basically, but I revolutionized it and began telling stories with every rhyme was a story. Walabiko omusajja omukulu ng'akaaba amaziga n'agezaako okusekanga naye nakwemunyiga. Walulabyeko banene ba R&B singer bwafaanana ng'entebe enkalu ku lunaku lwa lonchinga. Oyo sekise gulaba bamuyita nanchinga. Bw'omulaba mu bbaala gw'olowooza akiringa. Kumbe mwana muwala ng'omubiri gwe gwadiringa okulaba nti naafunira abaana b'obulamu obusinga. You're telling a story. That story draws pictures in people's minds. And that's a format that had never been seen before. So empagi za hip hop nyingi, everybody has their contribution. And all of us are one. I'd like to see all of us as one. And Tiboboba ze the godfathers of hip hop in Uganda. I have contemporaries as well.
So story yakintu bwe fuluma abantu ne bajagala.
Story ya Luka. Yeah.
Chikwongera amaanyi.
Yes.
Ne muddayo mu studio with something else.
Yes, so story ya Luka gave me what would be like a demo. So I began recording with people. Waliwo ba twins abali ba producing in Naguru. Former TV sanyu we yalinga. Nga twakola wami bali mita Katonga Mugaga. He was a very rich man. I think he had a bank around that time. Ngade mutabani wa ina studio wa Naguru. The
rally driver. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he used to do rally as well. I think Emma Kato is a son of the senior. So a studio liawo Naguru nganete buchali TV temuchali chi katika chivumu chinene ngade all the facilities are there. So twali kunganiranga wonyo Papito wa Clear Cut ngajawo nyo
Papito yalaga.
I don't know, probably is in Rwanda making money. Waliwo twins waliwo guy bali bamita Molekwa, rest in peace Molekwa, Nero Kim bali bayita abenganda. So twaberanga obulisanga tubatolinga ani asinga. Nenga kati nze nemanyi nnyo nti nno nze asinga kubanga buli we nagendanga buli battle. So hip hop, you have this thing. It's a very competitive sport. It's not about enmity. Buli omu abagamba nkusinga n'olina agamba osinga beewammwe. So you begin battling. Ng'ekigwa ekiganda bwe kibeera basically nga ekifafu okitadde mu bigambo.
Kiba kibawa energy and
vibe. You're not enemies. Mumala okwemegga ne mugenda ne mulya emmere. So there's a difference between having a battle and having a beef. Abantu abale batakitegeerera. So I battled Molekwa, I battled so many rappers. So ne batuukanga okundeetanga buli sanga bagamba ogwosobola okuba Zamba gwe, so I'd begin freestyling and dissing people. I'd make fun of their shoes, what they wore, waje bava, bichi, so I owned my craft. So bwe bagamba nti kugenda mu battle Zamba akuba battle kugamba kuwandika stories ezakabi, I began writing very nice stories. When it comes to performances, I had killer performances because I'd taken time to go through all these things. And for them poetry, I'm a decent poet, I think. So my reputation nagizimbira ku bu stages obutono. Mu time ey'okubonaabona nti ogenda n'okuba ekasubi tebakuwadde ssente, n'ogenda n'okuba entinda tebakuwadde ssente, n'ogenda emulago, n'ogenda egi nga olusi bakufuuwa kale nga nga bakufuuye era bubeera buswazi. We used to call him buswazi. But I began recording with the twins. The twins did songs for me. Kati basuka kunrecordingira ennyimba ezasooka nempulira nga tebivuddeeyo. Kati guy yampa CD nangamba I come for your songs today, nampa CD nembeera nga ndi very excited, nenzirayo mu karuumu kange nenjiteeka mu computer nempuliriza genda okulaba nga buugi nga buugi ngamba this is not how I want to come out kubanga nali ngamba company yange nteko gizimba nga ku musingi gw'amaanyi. So CD nenjimenyamu nenzirayo mu studio ne mugamba I would like to see you bichi nenzirayo mu studio. I walked to the studio to just go and delete all the files and the rest of evidence.
Distributing anywhere.
Yes.
Did he know that's your intention?
Nayo manyi kya surprising siddeyo najimenya ne files ezo deleting naye waliwo mukwano gwange DJ wano when nakomawo mu Uganda, I think it was like November, yangamba Zamba nina akayimbako. I was like what? Nakazanya, I was like, where did you get this copy? So there's a song of mine I don't want anyone to hear. So ye kaya Luina. So shout outs to you, Ben. Nazisangula zonna nenzimenya. Kati yesimanyi copy je yajijja. Kati nana ye bwana ndaga wakaterese nja kamenyamu.
So omalo kubi deleting. Oliti yamanya mbo deleting.
Namugamba deleting. I told him my reasons. Namugamba kuna kusasudde anti-sente zo. So it's my right okuyomba butafuluma. Kati
bwasha ina naza rent. Ujja wamanya
it's very important. Kati it's very important. Kati ezo sente waliwo fane ya zimpa twali ku sport after. Kyali kifaga kitantinda. Jukira yampe emitwalo 10. I was like, okay, fine. Sazi kuwatana ko nentambulira nenzira yewaka. Like, ka distance ga kawanvu. Nentambulira nkera nenkubira gaine mugamba njaga kuja mu studio nkusasule njagala kusasulira beats 2. Nagamba otese emitwalo 10 beats 2 gayi wange. Nemugamba nayo tofaayo. When I perform nja kubanga nkudiza sente endala. Nenyimba nesizagala nenzimenyamu. So,
are you offended? Oh,
he was offended. He was offended because it was an insult to his skills as a producer. Insult. We remained friends. Na yeranga yali mwali mukali nchanyize muko.
So no longer producer mnala.
Yeah. So katolo tutandise competitions ezaku Sabrina's, and I was beginning to know other people, and I discovered. I began singing with a guy Bamita Unique. He was a very nice vocalist. So we linked up, and I met a producer Bamita Sam Lamara. So when I heard Sam Lamara's beats, I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. It was like, twalinga, but twins ngalete to meeting angako. So when we met Ngagamba, I think this will go very well with your style, guys, and nyamo beat. So instead of recording most of the time, kuba freestyles most of the time. Nangamba, you know what, G? I think you should get some of your songs as a recording, and let's begin working on a project. So the very first song I did was Soda Ginjale. No, Soda Ginjale with him. Nakola Soda Ginjale. Then naliyokanga.
Soda Ginjale waliotegeza.
So Soda Ginjale mu Luganda. Kati album yange yone yasooka yali yakumanyisa banna Uganda nti traditions zaffe eziva waneeno nti za amaanyi. Njagala bridging a gap obukola olutindo olw'abantu abakulu n'abantu abakadde. Kuba nali discoveries.
Abakulu n'abato.
Abakulu n'abato. Nti bagamba bakola byabwe bawogana bwogganyi. So okubamanyisa nti kyetuyimba wana wakawo ekiri. Wanene twayimba ku State House ne muzeeyi yennyini, muzeeyi Museveni. I remember. Nali nakava ku stage n'agamba bano bebadde bayimba bibadde bikini. Gaina Rich n'amugamba nti ono Zamba, King of Luga Flow. Teyabitegeera n'agamba kubeera kulanya, kubeera nga kola poetry. Byakola is like bringing back our tradition, traditions back home and celebrating them. So I was like, hey, I also can rap a little bit. That means nakola his own thing. So, but my thing has always been to bridge the gap between tradition. No, actually, it's nali already kati yewe yakubira beat nali already nze mfuluma State House. Gundi naloka ngamba. But I think it was either Steve Jean or it was, I don't know who else was there, but somebody called me and ngamba, hey, what you meant, the president is rapping? I'm like, come on, how could he be rapping? They go, yeah, the president is rapping. And I made sure that I went with Baboon Forest to the State House, because to us it was making history that we were the very first rappers to ever make it to State House and perform at State House.
Convinced him into rapping, so.
It wasn't.
He was a one-hit wonder.
I don't know.
Lyrics of that.
I check a katwali wabana banji nyaba tabasobola muwandikira fresh kid ne.
So that Ginger ne gata ngabo wali yogambe generations.
Yeah, so that kalijukira kayimba ke bayimba ngedda soda Ginger soda Ginger nga bazina muwogola nga bakakubira kengalo amangala bimanya kataga kayimba kalinga ka advert edda mujenkaaga kati mujenkaaga bali mujenkaaga bali okusoda
jawera yakagamba
kati this is out of research tokola research yongo ononye nyimba ezigatta abakulu n'abato nogamba koi buli omu kimugatta soda Ginger waliwo abedda banywanga ginger ale. Soda ginger ale is like it's a flavor ya mujaja naye nga bagikola mu soda si ntangawuzi naye nga bagikola mu soda kati abakola akalango mweje emyaka bakola soda ginger ale nga bakubira ku ngoma nganda okitegeera kati tugamba okay, so we can sample that and turn it into a modern song. So hip hop always samples tradition and chooses the DNA of the past to create the future. So that's exactly what I did. Nenfuna musician bamwita Unique. Kapanga simanyi kuyimba, si ebyo kuyimba si vocalist, I'm a rapper. Unique natika ko vocals ezakabi. So by the time we left that studio, I knew that was a hit. And then olimba lutambuzanga ku TV kutwalira abagundi ba presenters. Ngabagamba alwachita muyimba munga ragadi. Gamba nedda ragadi olusakola hip hop olusakola afrobeat is a very very talented artist, but what I'm trying to do right now is so different. Gamba kali lwachita mukubanga ngoni because ngoni were like really huge. Gamba no, so I got frustrated with TV, I got frustrated with radio. When the song began playing, because bafani balusabanga ku TVs the radio, kati ngamba leto luyimba ngamba namwe temunsumbu walimba mululina, so I was frustrated in my own frustration. So they began playing the song by themselves. This is like 8 months after releasing it, and they began revisiting.
Rejecting a kind of and retreated back to your kazigo.
Yeah, I was frustrated, but then again, I wasn't frustrated because my plan was flawed, but because the industry hadn't arrived to where I was. But bulirwaberanga pioneer, even with this album of mine that I have right now, abajagala already mu kiti kyabwe naye abali used ku kintu ekikadde, they will try to resist what it is. Abasajja
bakola change.
People don't like change. Most people don't like change. They're comfortable.
I think it's a fact of life.
It's a fact of life. It's inevitable. Waliwo abangamba mwana Zamba twagala okuba biri soda Ginger ale nga bwe wakola emyaka 10 emabega. Nedda gula album enkadde bwabanga oyagala bikadde gula album enkadde kubanga naawe tokyayambala ngoye ze wali oyambala emyaka 10 emabega. Obwongo bwaffe bukyuse, endowooza yaffe ekyuse. Luli twali tuthinkinga ku Kawempe ne tudda ku Kampala ne tukuba Uganda ne tukuba East Africa kati tuli ku Africa tuli ku nsi yonna. So the material that an upcoming artist would do, you wouldn't expect Zamba to do the same material. So there has to be growth.
Otuuka otya ku level gy'ogamba okay now kati penetrate in the industry?
Oh, it didn't take so long. After people began the very first song, ne bagamba, hey, ati recording anolulala. So they landed on Koi. Bagamba, oh my God, this kid is amazing. Already ngakati oramal recording Soda Ginger Ale, I knew it was a hit. I went back and did Koi the next day. And then I redid the word that got around that, okay, there's this new kid on the block, he does this, Awandi Kabulungi battles and he performs well. So I link up with Benon as well. So Benon does Story Aluka, and we call Aziza Zion to play guitar on it, on top of it. Aziza Zion, I think Michael Uma, they did nebongeramu kali ka guitar akali exceptional. So until the quality of my production yali etuse nange talent yang, it made my talent. Never producers are very talented. Product neberanga nungi.
Nga kisufu.
Nga kisufu.
Nga n'abantu kati olwo.
Oya katolo nga nina bafans bange.
Wali okyayita oli Zuwachi?
No. From my very first album, I'd already changed to
GNL.
To GNL. GNL Zamba.
So abazadde ne batandika accepting about.
No, so
I'll tell
you something that's surprising. So waliwo olimba baluyita yenze nali manyi yegenda okubeera hit yange esooka. GNL akusuulira sirangano kyamuka yenze. So everywhere I would perform that song, people that loved hip hop really gravitated to the song. Nekati so the Jinjali nefuka hit before this other song. Koi Koi became a hit before this other song. Up to now, ni never core fans. Like I have like a very, very strong group. Shout out to the Baboon Forest Army. But never to the South in Okumachane Farida. I have a core group. Bali everywhere in the world to jita the Baboon Forest Army. Mo Uganda bali in every district. Basically, it's a whole network here Baboon Forest. Emitie mito, ne emitie mikulu. Ne nkobezo na ziliyo.
Oba bobe kunga in nga gwoba gata GNL Zamba yatugata we
yeah, so GNL Zamba nzaba gata nti it's a collective, it's but creatives nti mulimu aba designing engoye nakuleteddeyo ne presents by the way ziri somewhere that will be handing ngenda kubanzi kuweereza kuliko presents waliwo designing engoye mu Baboon Forest mulimu balinga bo buli lwembeera n'ekivulu be bakola organization ne bagamba kati omukulu agenda kujja, then you just go and perform over there. They are presenters, TV presenters, waliwo ne kati n'abaana abato abasketchinga comic book ya Baboon Forest. Okay. So it's a collective of creatives. The forest is an ecosystem, and that's what we are building.
Well, wow.
Yeah.
So when do your parents call you back?
Balam and Shadrach called me. So I met my manager, Emron. Emron Yali, the person I formed Baboon Forest with. So Shadrach calls us and he wanted to sign GNL. Tumugamba tugenda kusigninga muntu. Shadrach Kutesa alina group agita Platinum Entertainment. So nemugamba tugenda kusigninga muntu, ogenda kusigninga group. You're going to sign Baboon Forest. So from my very, very first record. No, Emron was my first manager. Right now, Alimo Advertising is one of the biggest, working for one of the biggest advertising agencies in East Africa. So Emron and I began creating the structure right now. But we're going to be in music industry in Uganda. First of all, just creating a structure, endorsements, format endorsements, nti chiva wanena, and then this is what's expected of the artist, and then their managers, and then their studios in one location. We did that format first. Yokuberanga, you professionalized hip hop, and everybody has the manager, personal manager, business manager, and Nemukola country tours. Still, that's all of us. There's so many contributions that I can count. So I'll let other people give me that credit. Yeah, that's true. But I'm telling you, bazade bange webakiririza was Platinum Entertainment yakwatagana ne Balam. So Balam ne bampita ne bagamba, okay, so fans baba weze tutaga kutegekera yo an event. I was like, it's about time because ba fans bafe banje. Ngati balabanga ko show ya hip hop
album
Koi. Yeah, this is even before I really put out the whole album, but this was about just like 4 songs. I think what convinced people the most was Oli Olimbo Lwali King and recording Ani Aliamanyi. So before I even put it out, I think Yali Kenzo nali nfuluma kugundi ku get ya swangs ngaba kyalichita chiwundo. Kenzo nangamba mwana wakubya oluyimba. Guys, like really ngachali mutono nnyo mwana wakubya oluyimba nengamba luyimba chi. So I'm like story ya Luka nengamba nedda mwana oluyimba baluyitani yali amanyi. I was like, what? The song is not out. Nengamba nze nduwulirizeeyo mbadde mu town. I just heard it when I was in town. Gwaliwo gaba daluzanya ku Majestic or something like that. I was like, so we began chasing the song, really inescapable. Yeah, I think it was everywhere. So when we began announcing...
Was it the producer?
I don't think so, because producer Mwesiga, I don't know how it got out again.
Why you get out here?
Basically, it was like, again, kugata DNA of Eli Wamala. Yes. So Eli Wamala was sampled to create one of the biggest GNL songs ever. Ntimo hip hop tukozesa DNA of the old to create the future. Ntine nyimba katuwulira mpulira DJ Khalid ne Rihanna bayimba Wild Thoughts nenga tefemu abamanyi music tuwulira Maria Maria, which is Carlos Santana, Wyclef Jean ne on the product GNB, I think, on the record. So the past always revisits itself and you come back full circle. So because my dad used to play Eli Wamala and he was a fan, Nzenganza to create dope music and honor the past and honor our ancestors, Eli Wamala had to feature on my album. I had to do a song called Soda Jinjale kubanga jajja wange ke kayimba ke okuva kalango ka salompas yawulizanga akadanga kali kaddako kali ka Soda Jinjale. Nti ate butudda ku kyoto batwa jajja baffe kuva mu our very very past ancestors. So we did one of the biggest hip hop shows that has ever been done.
What was that?
Chadondo. So we filled up Chadondo in record numbers and we sold record t-shirts. People had a very nice show. Steve Jean put on a very good production, and I don't think people had ever seen a rapper perform like that, and to so many people hip hop had arrived. But to them bali tebamanyi nti no katulabanga hip hop omulabe sawa zineno bantu balowooza nti kidandali kyekifuga kumbe ba soldiers ba hip hop balinda bulinzi show. Like there's so many people in corporate offices now. When TV I get so many people tweeting at me telling me how much they love Baboon Forest songs or hip hop songs and this and this. So we have fans everywhere that love hip hop music. It's just that the industry is always slow to catch up or even recognize. It's until you do it. Hey, so even Balam Naikenyini yali shocked at how many people came for the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
No kunganya modidi. You harvested.
Yeah. So Katateo yali share soka. Netukola share yokubiri, which was like the next weekend. Imperial, like the whole beach was full. So by the time I performed Koi ka staging kakabula kunyenyo wakasule wansi. It was like so many young kids. We had old people. Basically kugata I've been lucky nti nze muyimbi ayimbira abaana abato then n'abasajja abakulu. Nti sayina muntu osobola kumpita ku corporate show sawa bwezi it is always gulo nga kumacha nayimbidde high school oba nendeeta abako kukukoi oba mwana wa baba
malo chikubaawo abazadde noddayo ne weetonda. So
I made my dad stand up nemugamba dad thank you so much for the show. Oh yeah, he had to. All my parents were there. You
convinced him?
No, he didn't have to be convinced. He didn't have to be convinced. I think he was convinced by song number 3. But then he actually got to know the power in hip-hop music. Because I always told him, Dad, ngamba Uganda and East Africa and hip-hop manji that we haven't even tapped yet. We haven't even touched 1/8 of what hip-hop can do. And Dad, hip-hop is very powerful. This is the language of the young people.
I hear you, son.
I
believe you.
Just out of love, believing. But on that show, he was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My uncles were there, my aunties, my younger sister who was there when I was writing my very, very first rhymes was also like ecstatic. So for that Charlie time yasanyo, but most of all it was a time for hip hop fans mu Uganda okufuna share yabwe eri official nga basasudde ticket production nga yakabi and the music is nice. I've never gone back. So we've done country tours. I think I've done some of the worked with all communications companies in Uganda via endorsements. And we've had Coca-Cola, we've had Pepsi, we've had MTN and all of them, the whole 9. But that aside, from the things that I'm most proud of is working like with the Ministry of Health for Story Aluka okulaba nti tukola sensitization mu baana okutaasa obulamu bw'abantu. I think that's my greatest contribution. The Story Aluka ng'oluyimba lujjukiza omuntu babeera mu kali ka time nti chali wange onyumirwa waliyo kikankane mulimu kikankane essaawa zino but tetwagala okankanira ddala teekako akantu.
So do you know how many you've done so far, the songs?
So yes, nafulumiza list of the top 100 GNL songs. Nabadde nga nafulumya no album
the top 100 out
the
of
top 100 top 100 GNL songs kati nga zino eza album impya tetunaba kuzongerako. My top, I think I have 120 naye nabaza the top 100 and this is my next album gye bayita The Spear. Kati zino zote tuzibala ne freestyles ezimu tetuzibala but I think I have around 120 songs. Yeah.
Wow. Black, yellow, red, blue, no borders.
Yes.
Black, yellow, red, blue is what now?
So Black, Yellow, Red, Blue is a futuristic song. So you see the way that I'm dressed is more hip hop to jita style empya gye bayita Afro-punk.
Afro-punk.
So Afro-punk I'm mixing luga flow and rock music. And rock and roll music are playing a very big role mu hip hop. Ate abaddugavu ffe twakola rock and roll. So tuteekwa nayo kumukomyawo abeere waffe. Mulimu rock and roll guitars. It's produced from West Hollywood by my producer Fly Tucker and waliwo guy abakuba engoma okwo yazanyira Kamasi Washington ne Kendrick Lamar naye ku How to Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one is out. Pwidogamba, it's way different from Mateji Watandikira.
Of course.
People are thinking we get back the old Zamba.
No, but this one abajiwuliriza bangambye eringa koi. Because still tuli ku Africa, the focus is on Africa. The focus is on black kings, the focus is on black queens, the focus is
Why
on...
did you choose Spear? Because kubanda about Africa, then about Sweet Uganda.
Yes, Sweet Uganda Statafa. Yes.
Why did you focus on Spear? Okutuma
Album cut all of a fumu, but jajja bafe basoma physics, aerodynamics. It's the most perfect weapon in the world. Nti katifemo present time. Album talks about the present. It looks at the spear from the past, the present, and the future. Nikatibatuba tutunulidde fumu mu time yaffe no fumu lyaffe libeera bwongo, so you need to sharpen your spear ey'obwongo. Abedda basharpeninganga kubanga spear yalinga how they used to pass on responsibility to the next generation. Ne bakwasa engabo osikira olina kyogenda okusikira bakwasa fumu n'engabo.
Okay, so omaze okuhitinga Uganda bakutegedde music bamugize waliwo n'abatandisa omuyingira bangi, they're inspired. So then you go and leave Uganda.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
Kubanga, I believe with everything there must be growth. But nulira abasajja abakoze ebyakabi byonna mu nsi baavaako ewaabwe ne bagenda awantu awala. Ngenda kuwa example ya Yesu ne example ya Nabi Muhammad El Salem okimaliddeyo. Nabi Muhammad teyasigala Mekkawo, yazalibwa Madina oyo yazalibwa Mekka? Yazalibwa Madina. Yasooka n'agendako e Mekka. Kati ffe Mekka yaffe mu entertainment ebeera Hollywood. Oteekwa okugendako e Mekka. Yesu yavaako ewaabwe gye baamuzaalira Betelehemu n'agendako mu Jerusalem. Jerusalem nayo n'avaayo n'alyoka adda Emisiri. Ebiseera ebyo Misiri mu Africa kyekitundu ekyali kisinga okubeera n'abagezi. So oteekwa okugenda abagezi bonna gye bakuŋŋaanira n'olaba ebiriyo n'okomya. Ewaffe mu Luganda bagamba okutambula kulaba okudda kunyumya. Kati nkomezaawo album empya kati tunyumya. Ne Shakespeare yatambulanga n'agenda Denmark, n'agenda Australia, n'agenda wa n'akomawo n'anyumiza ab'omu UK stories zasanzeeyo. It's the same thing. Great men travel.
Kati wagenze banyumiza.
Era nzijukira bwe nasooka okutambula okulaba ku mugga Kiyira. Nali very, very, very happy. I felt like bulijjo mbeera mu Uganda, but I'd never seen the source of the Nile. And this was my very first time okugenda Kiyira College boutique, so you can imagine.
So kati wamaliriza ebyakutwalayo you're back? Or so you started a new whole life?
I think we're starting I think Hip Hop Uganda and Uganda's music industry is starting a new chapter. People have not realized, but we have started a new chapter now. With my return to Uganda, we have begun a new chapter in music.
You have returned?
Yeah, I call it my return to Uganda. Kati eri ninayo amaka na wano ninawo amaka. Kyenva yagamba kino Mr. Content chapa ku buli continent owa Baboon Forest Entertainment. I want us as a people. Ensi nga Uganda bwe tugiraba. These borders don't exist. They are virtual. We're just imagining them.
Okay.
But
We are one global
Farida is unlimited, I'm unlimited. So we are everywhere.
Ndaba oyimba ne Miriam.
Yes.
Yali muyimbi before you met her, or
Yeah.
you have inspired her into music?
So chat connecting yali music first of all. The very first time that we met, we talked about a musician gwe bayita omuyimbi gwe bayita Tracy Chapman. Kubanga nalinga njagala nnyo Tracy Chapman atenga naye amwagala nnyo. So we're talking about muziki. Then nangamba ayimba nti yali ayimba jazz. Naye ngatenze nkola hip hop. So because fena twagala culture and finding a makati wetusobola okumeetingira okucelebrating a culture ezaffe mu Uganda neze ensi zonna. Yeah.
Nendala.
Yes.
So nemukolayo kagundi.
Tukolayo ka album ke bayita Nsimbi.
It's a whole album.
Yes, it's a whole album.
Okay.
Album eyo twawinninga ko 2 international awards, Isa World Beat Independent Music Awards. And we have been actually album tusinzo tutambuza South by Southwest Festival to Jukubye.
Yona mujiriko mwembi.
Yeah, just 2 people. And it's
How
inspired
many songs?
13 songs. 2 poems, 11 songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Nenga still is inspired by traditions ezawano mu Buganda ne Swahili proverbs. Nsimbi has so many fans na yok Facebook osolo genda no jiraba, and we also have a website jebaita www.nsimbimusic.com. And also I have a website yange jebaita GNLZamba.com where you can go and find more information.
Wachite mwajigata.
Awamu zombi zibere wamu.
Mu nemukolemu kubana irabeke yempya. Nsimbi yempya.
Yes.
Watekera dala ku GNL Zamba position.
Kati gwe bali kumbuza ekibuuzo ekyo kubanga bafanzi banga bamu bali tebana kitegeera bulungi. Naye Nsimbi is different from GNL. GNL is purely hip hop. Traditional hip hop. Bwembera nga nyimba nzeka, that's GNL. Bwembera nga nyimba ne partner wange Miriam, that's Nsimbi as a couple. Gabula nti Jay-Z yakola album ne Beyonce, they bagita the Carters.
Okay.
Ne Jay-Z ina album ye ne Beyonce ina
so you're not a
yakola.
duo, just mwakola.
No, we're a duo as in Nsimbi, we're a duo.
Yeah,
but I'm also a solo artist.
Tegeza na ina ye Miriam.
Ine ye bagita Fire Dance.
Wow.
Kera kweli ku internet.
So you're back here to concentrate here?
Yeah.
Inspire more?
Yes.
Promote more?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm back here to basically continue what we have been doing. Kati njagala kuzimba lutindo okuva waneno paka mu Hollywood. Nti eringenze nenkolayo network yayo na waneno nawo nalekawo network kati tukolaganye tutya ebibuga ebibiri bikolaganye bitya kubanga ekifulano Nigeria okubeera abakabyo baba South Africa nti Don Jazzy yalina base mu London, but Davido balina base mu Atlanta. Mu Uganda tewaliyo base eriawo nti osobola okutuukirwako. Okitegeera ate nga kiri very necessary nti muyimbi owakabi bw'aba avudde mu Uganda kugenda mu Los Angeles, where do they record from? What musicians capture their videos? Why are the videos so expensive for Ugandan musician? Ngata Nigeria basasula cheaper, yet we can all achieve these things. Yet lwaki abeeri bwe tubeera nga twagala okutunda film lwaki tebava eri ne bajja waneno mu Uganda ne tuzikolera wano ne tuzitunda eri? So that cross pollination must be there.
Okay, we're running out of time.
When
album yo empia the Spear,
yes,
which is your favorite? Oh, choose one. Or tukubemu ka rap.
Oh my God.
Ndabako wano who got the power? Then there is Zamba the Great.
Zamba the Great. I love kati okungamba to know what's your favorite song oberanga ngambye nti kubaana bo londako ani gwosinga okwaga.
Londako gwetuleka.
Yes.
Kale londako lumu otukube yo rap. Waliwo wano lwendaba what the
yeah.
Uganda start.
Ijagala ifuke alamu yo. Yes.
Okay, kanzuksa.
Yeah. So thank you so much everybody for supporting me. Njagala kupeyo kanoka. I'll freestyle for you something else. Yali badenze nawe singa mu lugafulo mulimu Shakespeare. Ndi mumpi nayo nye musapaka lwenkwata ku chandelier. Omutima gukubisa samange nkoko ye wandegeya. Oh dear, obuwomine bwe nuna chocolate I can't compare. Mbadde nindoluna kugwenange lwe tulifuuka pair. Nkutijjise ndaga bakaza balala nti oli superior. Nabadde ntuddawo netandika ofuna ze idea. Nti Farida kirabika oli malayika lwakubanga ggwe oyambala leeya. nakubya obufaananyi nga tuli mubire tuseeyeeya ngwako mu kafuba nkuhaginge nga Teddy Bear neyongera kwagala bw'oyogera mpulira kwaya bw'ogenda okukola ku NTV I long for the girl I admire bw'onkwatako ku skin nempulira fire wamponyeza aba vampire juzi nagambe waitress nti ku menu omukwano gw'oweewange gwembeera njoya kiss eringa freedom enzija mukandooya omukwano gulimu atmosphere ntudde naawe sirina fia onsudiya kati laba balala nzoleya okuula bakombeera ng'enkobe mu kibira ng'erabye ku bbogoya
Zamba ebyo bye biri ku album wakati wano freestyle.
No, that was something I did with Juliana Kanyomozi. Yeah.
Khalid Zamba, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for hosting.
We hope to see you here more. Okay.
Yes. Oh, I have a present for you before we go off. Before we go off,
sorry, it's okay, you come on.
Yes. So I have a present for you. Kwanga fe babon for us to gabe birabo. Nakuletedde enkofiira.
Okay. I can imagine myself more coffee.
Yes. Then I brought for you the Nsimbi CD. The CD, the spear.
Nsimbi kwe koli Miriam.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I want you to have this. I want you to enjoy them during your free time.
Thank you.
And
so
these
much.
are for my fans. Bona sanga ke on bona labako. Bona kupaka amazi.
Bona bagenda kola batya.
Stating up
Nes kumotoka the stickers.
Kumotoka oba ku in a border. Now also take up anywhere. And I want you to also like design always ku babon forest ne miti emiteju.
Bajja kumbuze no forest ya wangate tujirambulanga. Thank you so much, GNL.
Yeah, enjoy and thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you for coming and talk to us. Yes, that's it for today. May God bless you. Abagalabuno, the stickers, you can reach out. I'll give them out. See you next week, inshallah. Akome.